Welcome at GLH. We are here in our testing center where we demonstrate and show all of our machines for our customers, and today we are going to zoom in a certain specific model. The next machine in the line of the semi-automatic series of the H-TEC series is the 7043. Again, the capacity, it's 430 millimeters in the height and 700 millimeters in the width. It has a 7.5 kilowatt motor on board. This blade is a little bit higher, it's 41 millimeter high. The saw bow is a little bit canted. When you look at it's 1.5 degrees canted to be exact. And when you look at the structure of the saw, it's the same typical double column construction. You have the big column to carry all the weight of the complete saw bow, and then you have the small column, which is not so small anymore because it's like 60 by 60. The second column that basically supports and guides the saw bow down. When you look on the central mechanical parts, you have cast iron big sized guide arms, you have cast iron vices, full stroke cylinder is on board, and the outlet table is pretty sturdy. This is a 12 millimeter thick plate, nice holes for the coolant to go back to the coolant tank, and obviously also here rollers in the bed, oversized rollers. It's like 90 millimeter thick, full material rollers with bearings up until the front of the saw to guide the big sized billets to go to the front. For easy installation, very important for all our machines that are going all over the globe to the export area. We have made sure that you can take the machine very easily off the skid. We made on every machine legs high enough to put the spoons or the forks of the forklift underneath, and we pointed out with symbols where the forks need to be to keep the machine in well balance. So it's very important that the one that is installing the machine or dragging the machine out of the container, that we also explain to them how it's done. So next to the skid, legs underneath the machine, so no flatbed, to make sure that you can easily get it off the skid and easily put it on the floor at your customers. Looking inside the machine again, you see the same principle again. The well-milled wheels, oversized wheels, cast iron, the holes again for the balancing of the wheels, as well on the left as on the right side. Doors with gas springs. Of course, when you open the door, the saw is stopping because of CE. We have safety switches, safety limit switches. And when you look closer, you see also here again the driven wire brush, also settable with the wing nut, coolant system inside, basically everything you need to have a good clean cut. When we zoom in a little bit on the guide seats, you have here again the tungsten guide seats, manually settable, so the moment that you turn you see that the guide seats are loose. You fix them with turning it hand tight. On the back of the saw we have this time carbide rollers that make sure that the pressure on the back of the saw is well guided, and on this side as well on the left side as on the right side you have here the eccentric bearings on both sides, oversized, so it's to catch the vibrations and also to guide the blade well inside the guide seats. Basically everything you need. The guide arm again is settable, so you open the guide seat, you have the guide arm here, and then you can move easily the guide arm as close as possible to the material. Of course, fix also the guide seat again. A cover for protection of CE, so you cannot take your hand inside the saw. When you need to change the blade, both covers are open. With the gas springs, automatically they go open, so they help the customer to get open, and also they don't fall down. And when you want to change the blade, on the back side of the saw you have the tension cylinder, which later on we will show you on the back of the saw, the tension cylinder to detension it and then to get the blade off. Basically this wheel will come inside and you can take off the blade. On our semi-automatic series, but also on our automatic series, so H-TEC series and H-Pro series, we have what we call a screw type chip conveyor or a spiral type chip conveyor, standard in the machine. It's hydraulically arranged, so when we move on this side, to arrange the speed of the chip conveyor we have this button. This button makes sure that the moment that you turn it, you can make sure that the chip conveyor is working. It's a hydraulic chip conveyor. So what we recommend always is to have a speed that is, let's say, this is already too quick, but let's say that it's a little bit like a snail and slowly can form the chips and gets the chips out of the machine. It needs to form, let's say, small tennis balls or ping pong balls, what we call ping pong balls. And basically with this button it's very easy to arrange the speed of the chip conveyor. Okay. We ended with the tension cylinders, change of the blade. We start again with the tension cylinder on the back side of the saw. You see here the tension cylinder, oversized tension cylinder, the pressure gauge to read the tension of the blade. Again, one blade to the other, different tension is needed. The unit to control the tension, so detensioning and tensioning, so the A and the B position. We also have a middle position. So it's a cast iron piece, completely manufactured inside our factory, and basically it helps the wheel with the shaft, it helps the wheel go inside. Here you see the oversized support column, 60 by 60. There's a sensor that detects basically the bottom, the moment that the saw bow is on the bottom, so it's the lower limit switch, what we call in our profession. The oversized rollers into the bed, so pretty sturdy, also full material with bearings inside. And then here you have the big main cylinders just behind the main column that makes sure that the saw frame is well supported and guided down with the down feed. When we go more to the left, you see the oversized gearbox with our 7.5 kilowatt motor, again directly behind the wheel with a direct drive inside. All our electrical cabinets have a main switch, so this is on, this is off. All our electrical cabinets are protected with a key. Give it to the owner or your technical department. Never open it again, only when there are failures or something that you need to check for maintenance or service. You open the electrical cabinet and basically what do you see? Well, everything very nicely labeled, so you know what component is where. You can read it also on the electrical diagram. We supply it with the key that locks the cabinet. Basically, we have some extra fuses the moment that there's a fuse burning. The inverter is there. We all use European components or components from manufacturers that are well reachable all over the globe, that have a very good network when you need to replace things left or right. And basically, yeah, what is very special in this saw as a semi-automatic saw, and we are going to zoom in on that topic, is our AI system. This semi-automatic saw is very competitive when it comes to functionality, and that's something that we are going to explain later on when we zoom in on the control panel. Something very special with the semi-automatic saws, unique actually, we supply them with a touchscreen. And it's always a combination of touchscreen with buttons. It makes things very clear that the moment that the touchscreen is failing, you can still operate the machine with the buttons, but also when you have thick gloves on or dirty hands, yeah, I prefer still to have a button to push. and it's supplied with our AI system. When you look in the market, price quality wise, I don't think that there's a lot of suppliers that can compete price quality wise when it comes to semi-automatic cutting. Certainly not when it comes to this. So no traditional system anymore with dual hydraulics. No, it's an electro-hydraulic valve with our AI system that is inside. So yeah, basically a little bit of an explanation of the buttons. You see the power here with the power button. This is hydraulics on, light on and off. The service key, when you change the blade, you turn the service key and it shuts down the hydraulics. Open the vise, close the vise, lift the frame, down the frame, start cutting, stop cutting. All these functions you can also see in the HMI. And talking about the AI system that is inside, our SawMaster system that is inside, you can look in another video basically where we are going to explain the SawMaster more up close, because basically this is something that is very unique on a semi-automatic saw. What I forgot to mention is of course the emergency button on every saw, and also the very recognizable GLH feeding button for our electro-hydraulic valve.